Good Monday morning, everybody. This is Michelle, and Mike asked me to make a Tech Talk presentation to everyone on making educational videos using Zoom. Thought, what better way to do that than to just create a quick, short video to show you kind of how it works. So I hope you're going to enjoy kind of what we talk about, but briefly, just to set this up, starting to think about creation of videos in a simple way. We're living kind of in this time where there are all these self-help books and they're flying off the shelves and onto Kindles about living simply and decluttering, quality over quantity, making mindful, deliberate choices. And I think some of those same principles are very important in deliberate decision making when you're creating videos for an instructional purpose. So I know I tend to think back kind of on my own journey through education and lectures that are delivered endlessly by less than passionate professors. I think how we used to just kind of literally check out maybe midway through if we made it that far before something else caught our attention. So it's important to kind of reflect that simplicity, especially in video making, is actually a thing of beauty. One of the most important modern rules, I think, in modern educational video creation is something that we would call segmenting. And so segmenting is a way that you can chunk the information in smaller, manageable bits. It kind of allows the learner to engage with the information and process really fully what they're hearing and learning. And it gives them control over how much new information that they're processing all at once. They can watch the same videos over and over, but this short, brief version is definitely something that researchers have found to be helpful in the education process. And there's definitely a science to it. In one research study, they were studying over 7 million different videos, and they found several different approaches that were common to those videos that kind of led to this increased student engagement piece, and then just really good absorption of the material. So keeping videos brief is number one. A few tips for creation of videos with a tool like Zoom and what makes Zoom such a great, appropriate tool for this purpose. We almost always want to keep videos under 6 minutes in length. In the studies that I was talking about previously, there were literally millions of learners, and almost 100% of those people would complete the entire video watching it, and sometimes multiple times, if it was less than 6 minutes long. So that's a good reason to keep it short and simple. Also using a conversational style, so you can tell by this video, I haven't put a lot of effort into scripting and coming up with the perfect words to say, but it is definitely something that personalizes the delivery of your message much more. There's actually a researcher, Richard Meyer, who coined this personalization principle. So it makes us more relatable and more human to the people listening and watching our videos. And it's much more interesting to follow when somebody is using a conversational style. Even though Toastmasters may come after you with all of the ums and so's, leave those in there and don't worry about editing quite as much. They come across much more natural to your listener. Also, it's important to not over edit. As I mentioned, Zoom is a tool that will allow you to edit on the beginning and end of videos. People often do that when recording webinars, but it's not something with a lot of major editing capabilities like a tool like Camtasia. So don't expect this to be something that you could really get into like very distinct pieces of the material and edit out. Also, speaking relatively quickly and with enthusiasm, I'm not quite sure how much enthusiasm I'm mustering at 7 o'clock this morning on a Monday, but the point is to have some vocal variety in your delivery and give students control kind of over how they listen to it, the speed at which they go through the material, and it definitely seems to promote student interest. All of this information was gathered and disseminated through the Vanderbilt Center for Teaching. I'm also not a salesperson for Zoom, but it has a lot of great features. I've listed some of them on here just to give you an idea of the capabilities of the tool. It received the Gartner Peer Insights Customers' Choice Award for 2018, and that's over competitors like Adobe Connect and Google, some of the more popular meeting hosting software that we're familiar with. And since it's primarily a tool for virtual meeting hosting. One of the features that I've used most often, especially in the class I teach, is the video creation piece. So essentially, I am hosting a meeting with myself this morning. And I've used it here at Lewis Library for things like staff training, just making short videos to teach people how to add a record to a patron note and workflows, for example. So it's a huge time saver, and I think that the staff have really appreciated being able to go over the steps of the process that I'm trying to teach as many times as they want to. So as opposed to hands-on training, it's definitely a great tool. I think we are very fortunate to have access to Zoom with a site license here at the Health Science Center, but it's also a product that's available with an individual account for up to one host and 100 attendees. So that's pretty amazing, the more that we look through these products and go through kind of our web hosting options. And so that's kind of the summary of Zoom and my short little video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will now go on to a live demo to show you how the video was created.